Did Janelle Monáe really say she time-traveled to a David Bowie concert in the 1970s? Because that's what the world heard when the 39-year-old singer sat down with Lucy Dacus for a Rolling Stone interview last week. The clip hit the internet like a spark in dry grass. In it, Monáe looks perfectly calm, perfectly serious, and says she went back into the 1970s, stood backstage at a Bowie show, and watched him perform Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. Then, she said, she jetted back to the 2000s and thought, this is what I want to do. No smile, no wink, just a quiet conviction that made everyone freeze. People magazine ran it with a headline, Janelle Monáe claims she time-traveled. Entertainment Weekly called it baffling and brilliant. Social media couldn't decide whether she'd lost her mind, or just proved she's living 2 centuries ahead of us. But before anyone can roll their eyes or believe every word, it helps to ask the question that started it all. Was she serious? To answer that, we have to remember who we're dealing with. Janelle Monáe has never belonged to one timeline. From her early days in Kansas City to her rise in Atlanta's music scene, she's built her identity on bending the rules of space and time. Her debut, Metropolis the Chase Suite, introduced the android Cindy Mayweather, a rebel from the future who falls in love with a human and sparks a revolution. For nearly 20 years, Monáe has sung, acted and dressed like someone living between centuries. So when she says she time-traveled to the 70s, she's not breaking character, she's extending the myth. But that doesn't mean it's just an act, because everything in her story points back to Bowie, the original alien of rock. Picture it, London 1973, smoke curling through concert halls, fans screaming under spotlights, and in the center, David Bowie, hair orange like a solar flare, makeup sharp enough to cut glass, dressed like a creature from another world. That moment, Ziggy Stardust, wasn't just music. It was transformation. It told every misfit and dreamer that identity could be an art form, that gender, sound and self were all just colors on the same canvas. Now, just jump back to 2025. Monáe is sitting across from Lucy Dacus, describing that scene as if she actually lived it, and maybe in some way she really did, because Bowie's energy didn't just stay in the 70s, it actually infected the decades that followed. And Monáe, well, she's one of the clearest echoes of that wave. The tuxedos, the androgyny, the performance that isn't pretending, it's becoming. So, when she says she stood backstage watching him, it might not be fantasy at all, it might be recognition, like remembering a life that shaped her before she was even born. Still, what if she meant it literally? What if she wasn't talking about inspiration, but experience? The internet, of course, went wild. One fan tweeted, if anyone could time travel, it'd be Janelle Monáe. Another wrote, she didn't go back. Bowie came forward. Others thought she was trolling, a sly way of reminding people she's always been a mystery, an artist who speaks in parables instead of press quotes. But the truth sits somewhere in between, because what she's really describing, without using the word, is creative time travel. That phenomenon where an artist dives so deeply into someone else's world that the boundaries of time blur. It's not science fiction, it's psychology. When a musician studies old footage until they feel the roar of the crowd, when they imagine standing side stage, smelling the sweat and the smoke, feeling the amp vibrations in their chest, that's a kind of teleportation, not with machines, with empathy. Monáe didn't invent that feeling, but she gave it language. She called it time travel, and that idea, of bending time through art, is baked into everything she's ever done. In Dirty Computer she blurred memory and code, singing about freedom inside a machine. In The Age of Pleasure she pushed past genre entirely, as if sound itself were liquid. Her performances aren't nostalgia, they're portals. So maybe, when she says she jetted back to the 2000s after seeing Bowie, she's describing that exact creative ignition, the moment she decided to build a universe where time obeys art, not the other way around. And what she said next proves it. She told Lucy Dacus, that's when I realized I could make the musical, make the music, create the lyrics, and build community around transformation, and being queer, not just in sexuality, but in how we see the world. Then she added almost casually, I absolutely feel my DNA in the future. That line, my DNA in the future, landed like thunder, because most artists look back for influence, Monáe looks forward for identity. That's what ties her to Afrofuturism, a movement that refuses to see the future as a space owned by anyone else. It's about reclaiming imagination for Black creators, turning oppression into orbit, making tomorrow a place where their stories lead. To live inside that idea, you can't just talk about the future, you have to exist in it. And Monae does, through sound, through fashion, through statements like this one. So maybe she didn't time travel to watch Bowie, maybe Bowie's legacy time traveled to find her, because every generation needs a rebel who makes art look extraterrestrial again. In the 70s it was Bowie, in the 2000s it's Monae. Two stars on the same orbit, decades apart, but glowing with the same defiance. And yet something about that image sticks. Janelle Monáe, standing behind the curtain at a Bowie concert, unseen, soaking in the chaos. Backstage isn't where you perform, it's where you transform. It's where you take off the glitter and decide who you'll become next. By placing herself there, she positioned her art at the threshold, between fantasy and reality, performance and authenticity. That's the space she's lived in ever since. Bowie once said, "I don't know where I'm going from here, but I promise it won't be boring," and Monae has spent her career proving him right. But here's the deeper layer, the one most missed. Her statement isn't just about her, it's about us, because every listener, every fan, every kid discovering Bowie or Monae for the first time, they're all time travelers too. Music collapses distance. A note from 1973 can hit your chest in 2025 and feel like it was written for you. That's time travel. Every time someone strums a guitar because Bowie once did, or dances freely because Monae said they could, the past and present collide. It's a loop, a legacy circuit that keeps energy alive long after bodies fade. So when Monae says she went back, maybe she's describing that universal loop, how inspiration moves like electricity, backward and forward at once. She isn't claiming superpowers. She's confessing to the oldest human magic of all, remembering something she's never lived. Still, part of her brilliance is leaving room for mystery. She never confirms, never denies. She lets people argue, speculate, meme, and mythologize, because that's how art breathes. Prince did it, Bowie did it, and now Monae carries that torch, because once you explain the trick, the magic dies. And Monae, she's not here to explain, she's here to enchant. So maybe the real question isn't did she time travel, maybe it's how many of us have without knowing it. Every time a song sends you back to a memory, every time a lyric pulls you forward into a dream, that's the same thing she's describing, and that's why the story caught fire, because even if it sounds impossible, it feels true. So here's where the story lands. Whether she literally traveled through time or not doesn't matter. What matters is what she made people feel. For a moment, she pulled millions of us out of the ordinary and made us wonder again. What if art really can bend time? What if the walls between decades are thinner than we think? What if creativity itself is a time machine, powered by imagination, driven by emotion, steered by curiosity? Maybe she didn't watch Bowie that night, maybe she became the next verse in his song. And when she said she was backstage, maybe she was already rehearsing her role in the future he helped create. Cut to black. Silence. And in that silence, you can almost hear it, the echo of two artists from different centuries, tuning the same frequency. If that story made you rethink time itself, tap like, hit subscribe, and share this video with someone who still believes art can rewrite reality. Because maybe it already has.